Hey everyone, never really thought much about Holy Week until this year, and so I think a while ago I heard a priest, Father Leon, shared this story, and I thought it was quite interesting. So I think I was talking about his family. When his family left home and he was left alone when he was much younger, he and his sister went to dig out all his old family, old photos, and he went to look at it because it was quite a nice memory. And as they're looking through the photos, they looked at it and they saw, hey, how come our family is here and we're not inside? Went and got a big orange crayon. I can't really remember exactly the details because I heard it quite a while ago, but I remember it was orange and a big crayon, and they started to draw themselves in. And at his mother's baptism, there was a gigantic stick figure looming above the baptism, watching her getting baptized of her sister. And on their parents' wedding, there was both of them, Father Leon and his sister, sitting at the front seat, stick figures with huge grins. So I thought that was really funny, and I think what he shared was that from this, when they were looking through the photo album, they were feeling, this is my family, how come I am not with them? How come I'm not away? So I want to add myself in, I want to include myself in, right? I think just like my family in situations where my family goes out and I want to be with them. When I'm away at work, I think, hey, y'all went to such a nice place, why am I not with you? We all want to be part of the picture of our family, right? Part of the picture with the people that we love. And so I think that brought me to think about Holy Week, right? When Jesus goes through events in his lives, important events in his lives, we are his family, right? Don't we want to be part of his life? Don't we want to be part of the picture? In Matthew chapter 12, verse 48 to 50, and Jesus says, who is my mother and who is my brother? Yeah, but he stretched out his hands towards his disciples and he said, you who do my will are my brothers and sisters. Whoever does the will of my Father is my brothers and sisters. Yeah, so brothers and sisters of Christ. Do we want to be part of the picture of his life? When Jesus was walking into Jerusalem, when there's a moment where everyone suddenly exalted him and were praising him and were waving their palms and they laid down the cloaks. Yeah, and all of these moments where Jesus for the first time was, finally so accepted, so exalted by the people. And then moving on to Jesus' life, our King was finally exalted by the people. Don't you want to be part of the picture? Maybe not a stick figure in orange looming over the thing, or with the big grins, from the stick figures, but maybe don't you want to see and be part of Jesus' life? And I think moving on to Monday, Thursday, a Good Friday, Jesus walking up Calvary, just making that journey, although suffering, but it was part of his plan, right? Part of his glorious plan, Jesus on the cross. And then move on to Easter, the joyous celebration of Jesus resurrecting, the tomb being shifted away and there's no one there, and on the road to Emmaus. Yeah, all of these moments in Jesus' lives, the part of the picture of his story. Don't we want to be part of that picture since we are his family? I always thought that Holy Week was just an important time for me to go for obligations and masses and long masses, more than an hour. Peter went through Holy Week and he followed Jesus, was part of the picture, right? He followed Jesus through his life. He followed Jesus through Jerusalem, saw the palms, saw the people exalting him, saw the people embracing Jesus. When Jesus was being persecuted, Peter left. Peter said, I do not know this man. I think that was when Peter saw the reality of his discipleship with Jesus and his journey with Jesus and where he stood. And James to John wanted positions on the right and the left of Jesus, and even asked their mother to come and tell Jesus that, may my son be with you on the right and the left. But Jesus said, can you take the cup of my suffering? And they said so confidently, right? They said that, yes, we will take the cup, we will drink the cup of suffering. But when the time came, they were nowhere to be found near Jesus. They didn't want to associate with Jesus. And through this Holy Week, their lives was transformed, right? They realized how the discipleship was. Their lives were transformed. And Andrew was the one who brought Peter and said, this is the Messiah. And he made the firm proclamation that let us go die with him. But again, his life was transformed. They didn't see Jesus, wasn't around Jesus when Jesus was going through his toughest time. All of them walked through Jerusalem in glory, but at the end they wasn't with him. They waited on the Lord for his resurrection, and they saw his glory. Yeah, when the Lord asked them once again, what have they learned? Yeah, Peter, do you love me? And then all of them reconciled, came back to the Lord, and their discipleship journey completely changed. Yeah, what they made of their discipleship, who the Lord was to them, completely changed. So I think really this is a moment of transformation for me, right? Transformation that I've never really experienced and taken seriously. Can see this with Judas. Judas, who had a heart for the poor, supposedly, I suppose. And that he said, why not sell this ointment and give it to the poor? And Judas, through his life, he came to Jerusalem too, but he betrayed Jesus. But the thing was, Judas didn't wait for the resurrection. Judas didn't allow this Holy Week to transform him. He didn't wait. And sadly, he killed himself. And so in contrast with the disciples, Judas didn't let Holy Week transform him. Judas didn't wait for a resurrection. Judas didn't allow Holy Week to transform his life. I guess maybe for me, transformation maybe may not be like a life and death situation thing, but transformation in terms of trying to find a meaning in just Mass. It's easy to see it as obligation, right? But finding my own special way, and perhaps your own special way of journeying with the Lord, being part of the picture, being part of His family. What does it mean to be the family, part of God's family, to be His brothers and sisters? I think I don't have the answer to that, but maybe you will find your own special, unique way where God calls you to walk with Him. Be part of the picture. Be the orange stick figure in His room. Yeah, and be transformed by this Holy Week. Yeah, whether we want to be transformed like the disciples, like James, John, Peter, Andrew, or remain the same, or even die like Judas. I think the choice is really ours this week. God bless, friends.